What could that look like with these engagement devices, with these connection devices? What could my kids be doing in that trial today?
Tweeting with another class.
Tweeting out what they are doing. Now, another class, that would be really interesting if they did it with another class who was having a trial. What else could they bring in? Video, expert video. They could make one where maybe they use yak it with the mouth, being Julius Caesar, saying, I didn't do that. They could do all kinds of things. They could actually connect with some Harvard professor who's in charge of Roman history or something and ask them questions. They could tweet out what the arguments are and see if people tweet back and go, no way, that didn't happen. The connection would take this to a whole nother level. And here's what happens with the learning. We know powerful learning happens when they're engaged and they have a purpose. And I want to say that again. Active engagement equals the retention of learning. And that's what we want. Information is an arm's length away from our children. They are interacting with this information all the time. And somebody, and I wasn't going to talk about this, but I find this really interesting. One of his colleagues said that we should think of Google as part of the kid's brain. If they can Google it, then it should be considered part of the cognitive process because they have access to that information. Just like we have access to the information in our brain and access to the information in a book, it's part of our big knowledge base. So why aren't we letting kids use it? Sometimes, I think we are with the iPads, but why aren't we letting kids use it to answer questions and not asking questions that they can answer, like just those questions on a test? Why not ask bigger, more important questions? And I know you've all heard that concept, but I want you to look at this classroom. When I was first teaching, if my principal walked by and my kids looked like that, I'd probably get in trouble. Now, as an ex-administrator, if I walk by a classroom and your kids don't look like that, I want you to get in trouble. This is what it needs to look like. This kid, if you'll notice right here, he's kind of in charge of the learning. Danielle, the teacher, is off to the side, kind of just keeping an eye on stuff and making sure he's saying the right things. But that group is looking to him for the answer. He is empowered. They are engaged. This little girl down here is taking care of finding research on her own. No one's going, here's the handout, here's how you have to do the research. You'll notice that in this mystery Skype, and I'm going to explain mystery Skypes in 1 second, but these kids are still using paper products. They're laminated, and we'll use them over and over again, so we're not making copies, but they're doing analog along with technology.